and welcome to Jim Becker's Return to Thailand. So, you might ask yourself, why is there a need for a blog like this? Well, for me, it's a personal thing, of course. Most people's blogs are very personal. I have been away for way too long. Been married to my wife, Kasara, from Thailand for 32 years. And the nice thing about being married to somebody from Thailand is that you will hopefully someday get to go back. She's spent more than half of her life here in America with me so far. And now we're both, I am 60, she's very close to 60. And I think it's time that we started transitioning back. And that's part of why we are making this decision to go back and spend more time there. It won't be 100% of the time yet. We still have two beautiful daughters here that we're very proud of, and we're excited to see the next parts of their lives unfold. So we aren't going to be there 100% of the time. But what has been really kind of fun for me in planning this is just getting into the world of Thailand now, the world post-COVID, which is still not quite post-COVID yet. It's very difficult right now to even think about all the different things that have gone wrong here in the last 2 years that have kept people from doing what they want to do in their lives. My life has taken a big turn health-wise, and that's part of what has played into our making a decision to go further into our plans to go to Thailand this year. And if it hadn't happened, it might not be for another 2 or 3 years. Waiting for my youngest to graduate from college would have been one thing. But now we're kind of making a compromise on that. We're going to spend part of the year in Thailand and part of the year here in the States. So, getting to my health, one of the reasons to go to Thailand, I feel, is to get a better handle on my health. There's a very good health system there. It's a very healthy lifestyle for me in Thailand. I was in Peace Corps in Thailand from 1987 to 1989, and I enjoyed it so much. And I had probably 2 of the best years of my life in terms of finding a very good weight that I could live with, and just eating healthier, exercising a lot, and then the tropical weather and bouts with dysentery kind of kept my weight down quite a bit. Now in the last year, I've had my weight taken down again by some other things, and which needed to happen, but it was not the ideal way for it to happen. I had first started with a gallbladder removal last October, in October 2021, and the problem there was that yes, it was inflamed, yes, there were problems with it, but it wasn't really the main problem. And so after that, I continued to develop jaundice. I had itchy skin, and the whole 9 yards with that kind of issue. And so after an MRI of the liver, showed nothing wrong with the liver. I was given 6 weeks. It was 6 weeks to get to a gastroenterologist appointment, and then another month after that to actually get to some more testing and things that steered them in the right direction to help me find what my real issue was. And the real problem was, aside from the pandemic clogging up the hospitals with a lot of very sick people who needed help, it was just the scheduling was definitely hit by the COVID pandemic, and we had to wait, and it took until late January to get a biopsy of the liver, which indicated some really bad things. Possibly some liver disease that nobody would want, because most of the time they lead to liver failure and either getting a transplant or not getting a transplant. And we know what happens with either of those options. They can both be fatal. And so they, as an upshot of the biopsy, they did an endoscopy, and it was there that they discovered there was a small tumor on my shared bile duct, about 1.5 centimeters, and it was diagnosed as ampullary cancer. Well, two things about that. One is that it meant that my liver disease problems were non-existent, basically. There was no cirrhosis, there was no syndromes there that were going to cause my liver to be a big problem. So, and then the second thing was that the type of ampullary cancer I had, not that there's a real difference in the structure of the cancer cells, but in the location of my cancer, is one of the better locations to, if you're going to have it, it's probably one of the better locations to have it. It was in a place where it could be resected and taken out, and so and later, so we were talking, let's see, January, February, March, okay, so we're into March now. All right, I was scheduled to do a Whipple operation. Whipple operation is one of the most complex non-cardiovascular, replacement of an organ or something like that. You know, as far as surgeries go, it's one of the worst that you can go through, and other than for your heart or for your liver transplant or something other major like that. Not a lot of people get them, but yet there's a significant number of people in the world that have had Whipple operations, and it's it really depends a lot upon what you get it for. I think it was probably originally developed mostly for pancreas patients who were, and as we know, pancreas problems of cancer and so forth can be lethal a lot of the time. And so they needed something where they could go in and resect problems and get everything out and give the person a chance to hopefully cut off the path of cancers if it was possible, and allow the surgeons to go in and get out everything that was bad that they can find. So that being said, so Whipple surgery, generally speaking, takes out a piece of your liver wherever the bile duct is that may be causing problems, the head of the pancreas, and part of the stomach where the valve to the stomach enters into the small intestine, and another section of the small intestine. I'm sorry, the medical terms are escaping me at the moment, but the beta region and the endodumen. I think I pronounced that wrong. I'll wait till I get into my Thai pronunciations. So all that comes out, and in addition to that, with me, they took out the I think I had the gallbladder out already. I still had the appendix, so they took it out too. So here we are in May, and we're about a month and a half after that surgery, and I am cancer free. Everything was resected out. All of the different pieces were diagnosed as not having cancer in them. The lymph nodes were all cancer free, all like 30 of them, and so I'm very lucky, and I realize how lucky I am, and the problem with this particular cancer is it does have a chance to come back, and so it will be something that I will be working and living with doctors for quite some time just to make sure it's not coming back. And that's a group that I'm part of, Ampullary Cancer on Facebook. It's an amazing group of people, very brave people and very kind people, kind-hearted people who help those of us, especially those of us who are new to all this, who have come along and have questions, or maybe needing to get a second opinion, or maybe aren't fortunate to have the insurance that some of us have had. And in America, that's a huge deal. So you can't say that enough. That it's really very difficult here in the States. You can, depending upon your income and where you're at in the country, if you are not in a place where there's a large number of operations for your procedure being done, it can be dangerous. Not because the doctors are bad, but because they don't have the experience. And their team doesn't have the experience. Mine was a 5-hour surgery, and with a doctor who's had a lot of these, thousands of them, and a team that's been through all of it too. And so I'm a lucky man. I'm very happy to be here. So it gets us into the recovery phase of my project here. And it's been beautiful weather here in May here in Indiana, which you cannot always say about Indiana. We have everything from freezing temperatures in the middle of May to nice hot summer-like temperatures like we've been having here the last week. And what I'm working on right now is getting my health back, getting healthy enough to travel to Thailand. We already have tickets. We've bought them for traveling in October. And the idea is that we'll get there. My wife has some visa and Thai identification problems, issues that she needs to get taken care of there because of just from being out of the country so long. And I will be going after a retirement visa so that I can live there long term, relatively convenient. I have to make some trips to the immigration office every now and then to get things updated or to be checked on and stuff, but other than that it's relatively smooth sailing to continue living there. And so part of my plan is to monitor my health. I have an oncologist that I'll be seeing. I have my surgeon I'll be visiting with again before I go to Thailand. And we'll be making sure that I'm at a stage that hopefully I can go over there and have a good time. I can go over there and meet new medical facilities and people so that I can continue to get health care over there while I'm there. And then hopefully life will take on a different meaning for me, that it will be getting back into life and not just worrying about the ampullary cancer and the and things will kind of move forward. What I would like to focus on with this particular vlog is not just a travel tourism type vlog, but more focused on health tourism and healthy living in Thailand. There's a lot of both actually. You can live healthily. You can live healthy there, and you can have a pretty good time, and for relatively inexpensive means as well, which is the other thing that appeals to me. It's a chance for us to retire somewhat early. We'll still have to work some parts of the year to make money, obviously, and to keep insurance here in the States. We will have some insurance in Thailand, although it's very difficult to get things that cover pre-existing conditions once you have them there. It's not quite the same here as under Obamacare, which made it, which is the one good thing that came out of Obamacare and ACA, is that you can get insurance and have pre-existing conditions and have them covered. I can't stress again to any of our colleagues out there listening who are potentially going into politics or already there, we need to keep pre-existing conditions covered, period. End of story. If you can't do anything else for health care, and so far they've managed not to, then we need to at least keep that. And so another part will be preparing for entry into Thailand and trying to find out what our niche is in terms of vlogging and so forth. I'm not one of these people who's going to just go over and start. For one thing, I've been in Thailand. I know where a lot of places are that I'd like to be, and they aren't necessarily where tourists want to be. So my vlogs are going to have a different flavor to them. I want to get into the culture more. I want to get into some what I used to do in Peace Corps, and I have a video about that coming out. It was focused on what they say in Thailand is called samunprai, which is basically herbal medicine. So herbal medicine in Thai is samunprai, and what you need to know about that is that a lot of, in Southeast Asia, almost all of the modern drugs that have come out of plant bases came from Southeast Asia. Although a fair number in South America and Africa and Madagascar and so forth. Of course, the tropical areas, right? But the root systems of some of the plants in these places are just amazing. They have chemicals in them that have led to cures for a lot of different things. And so traditional medicine there is a very serious thing. And I want to delve into that more. I want to get into it and really find where are the places people who are traveling to Thailand can go to get help. Where can they see the different things that can be done? How can we get enough information out on the web and in this, not only in this blog, but maybe on a web page or something that simplifies the task of seeing where healthcare is and different kinds of health products and development of health tourism in Thailand are going on so that people can see where to go. Phuket is one of the obvious places. They are constantly promoting the fact that they're going to be building this and building that. And some of those projects have been ongoing for years, get re-announced by the government every 5 years. But the obvious thing is that yes, there are some very good health facilities in Phuket, and they also have care for seniors. They are developed a lot of care for seniors in Thailand now, in a lot of different places you wouldn't even really know about as being main tourist destinations. The province my wife is from, Phetchabun province, has some senior care, senior living facilities, and Khon Kaen, another place where a lot of our Thai family is living, has some excellent health facilities. I also have several members of my Thai family there that are in the health professions. So it's an interesting topic. It's not only an interesting topic, but it's an important topic. I think that people come to Thailand for the right reasons most of the time. There are some wrong reasons for coming. And health, I think, is another one of the right reasons that could definitely be expanded. And I hope that maybe I can help to contribute to that in a good way. So I hope you'll join me as we get into this. I'm going to be doing some more vlogs on this topic, and maybe even get into some kind of topics on healthcare in Thailand. But also I'll be going back over a little bit of my own personal history in Thailand and my Peace Corps days and things that have changed since then, and a lot of the interesting things that there are in life and in culture in Thailand that impact health, impact the way people interact in Thailand. And I'm talking about things simple as transportation. In Thailand, we were just talking about this the other night. A couple of friends of mine from Kenya were over to visit, and one of the things that one of them had a brother who's in Thailand, had lived in Thailand for 10 years. It was actually a longer experience than I have living there, by quite a bit. And quite simply, there's this. The travel there is different because you don't have to have a car if you don't want to. You can travel almost anywhere in Thailand without a vehicle. Yeah, it might take you longer, but with air transportation and things like that now, you can get around quite well. There's some new additions to that, a thing called Grab, which has replaced Uber and Lyft in Thailand, and there are also just the buses system is pretty good. There are trucks, which are called song taos, and all kinds of different three-wheeled vehicles, from tuk-tuks and so forth to whatever you want. If you want some excitement, yeah, the tuk-tuks can be fun. They can also be frustrating, but the main thing though is that you don't have to own a car. You don't have to have your own personal vehicle to drive one person someplace and create a lot of extra carbon in the atmosphere. So it's just it's cool that we can do that in Thailand. So join us. We'll be getting into. We haven't seen any drone shots yet in my videos, but you probably won't for a while because one I just bought is basically disintegrated on itself. It's an older DJI which I bought to try out. I got to try it out some. So you'll get to see some footage of that actually in this video right here. It's actually there's going to be some drone footage, but you'll see that it's not much. And I also will show you at the end the clip of it bouncing up and down before it decided that it was not going to fly anymore. So that was a lot of fun. Right now I'm getting to dissect that. So hope we had some audio on this video, because if I just spent 20 minutes talking, I'm going to be really unhappy, but here we go. We'll try it and take a look at it.